Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 in my first time playing through the Alpha 3 of OSTRIV, which is a just amazing city builder that I'm having a lot of fun with. It's produced by one guy, and it's set in the 1700s in what I believe is Ukraine in Eastern Europe. And our little village is coming along quite nicely. We've got 74 people in it now, and our next steps are to continue running 2 farms. We want to start getting additional resources for food, such as chickens. So we're going to be working on continuing to grow that, continuing to grow our village. We want to get at least over 100 here in this episode today, and we'll see what else we might be able to do from there. If you didn't see the first 3 episodes, there's a link down in the description. It'll take you back to episode 1. You can see where we went to get to this part. All right, let's continue on. So I decided it would be a good time to build a bridge, not necessarily because we need to, but because I want to. So we're going to build a bridge right here. You can see we're already starting to bring the necessary resources, and we're going to place it across here, and then we'll probably put some more housing on this side, as well as maybe some more fishing. I don't know yet. So there's our bridge starting to go up now. We're going to watch a little bit of this just because I find it so satisfying to watch the building happening. We're on kind of fast time. We could slow it down a little bit. Oh, that's just cool. I just really like that. I just think that's so cool watching our little guys build their bridge. It's going up pretty fast. Pretty happy with that. We can see here all the nails, the wood, and the work that needs done. We still need 4,600 more wood and 48 more nails. Let's see how our wood production's going. It's going pretty good. I mean, we've got plenty of available trees, but by using all this wood, we're just giving these guys some more work to do. So just in the nick of time, we have a visitor that has come, from Derkachi, and they're offering iron, which we desperately need because I have an iron shortage and I'm out of nails. So we're going to go ahead and buy up. I think 500 is going to last us a good while. So let's go ahead and buy up some of that. Looks like we can probably sell. We've got wheat and we've got lots of sunflower oil available. So let's go ahead and sell off some of that. Not that much. It's not going to make necessarily a whole lot, but we can sell enough sunflower oil to more than make up for the iron that we're going to buy. So that's probably a good amount there. And let's see what they're offering over here. No, our messenger's not quite there yet. Okay, so they're offering cows, pig, iron, and horses. And they're demanding flour, which we've got wheat, but not necessarily flour. So, I got to think about the horses. So unfortunately, I think I got to hold off because until I get those nails produced, and I can't do that until I get iron, then I can't build the proper shelters for things like horses. But I do want to start focusing on getting some more bulls so I can turn them into oxen. Our slaughterhouse has got a lot of beef and hides available right now. We've currently got 11 cows. I just slaughtered 2 more, or 11 cattle total. I've got 3 bulls at the moment. I need to produce more of those so I can start turning them into oxen to use on the farms. So I've decided to kind of shift gears a little bit. We're going to build a stone mining camp. And the reason being is that there's this whole resource chain that I want to start taking advantage of. And it starts with our slaughterhouse, which is where we have a bunch of hides sitting there with no use at the moment. So in order to do something with these hides, we want to use a tannery to turn those hides into leather. The problem is you need, among other things, lime. You need bark, lime, salt, and water to produce those. Now, in order to have lime, you need a lime works, but a lime works requires quicklime. And quicklime is produced from limestone and charcoal. So we've got to mine limestone and charcoal, or gather charcoal, put it into a lime kiln, turn that quicklime into lime from quicklime and water at the lime works, then take that over to the tannery along with some other resources to produce hides. So we've got this kind of whole long chain that we're going to kind of start moving on here, and we're going to build all of that over in this area. We'll also put some homes over there so we have some places for these folks to work or to live and work at the same time in a similar area. So I'm going to throw up 3 new houses after that other stuff gets done. We also just had our 3rd death. So now we've got 3 of our 6 cemetery plots that have actually been taken. And you can see them here. We've got, well, our first death was this one here, and that was in 1723. And then we've had 2 so far this year. Both older. So, so far nobody has died that wasn't expected to. All right, so we're into the spring now, 1727. Serious food shortage. I just wasn't producing enough, even with all of my farms going. So I've got them all producing potatoes and wheat this year. We've got a number of fallow fields available to us. We've got livestock, and just keep slaughtering the cows once they get to 2 years old, with the hope that those will provide food. But I keep having families move out because of the food situation. So trying to find other ways to produce food, shifting most of my focus to food production right now to catch up. I did build a chicken coop, and the first chance I get to trade for some chickens, I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're gathering wheat and water for their food. So that'll be all ready to go, and that'll be an additional source of food for us. But right now it's pretty rough. So we're going to go ahead and order our first plow for one of our farms. And we need 2 ox to do that, I believe. So we're going to switch 2 of our bulls over to oxen. And that should do the trick. We'll take a look and see. Supply for oxen is disabled. Okay, there we go. Our lime kiln is finally in business. It took a ton of stone. So they've been working over here at the stone mining camp forever to gather the stone needed for this lime kiln, which we are now getting ready to go. I'm going to slow it down so we can kind of get a better look at this. I don't think we can look down in there, can we? I think we're just putting charcoal down in there right now. That's pretty cool. Kind of cool just to see that happening. So we're gathering charcoal for the current layer. They're going to put in, I guess, different layers of things. Kind of cool to see this progress happening, but that'll give us our first production of lime, which then we're going to need. Let's go ahead and start looking at the tannery, because we need bark, lime, salt, and water. We have bark, salt, and water. We need lime, which we're going to produce, and then we'll be all set. We're still having major issues with food, but mostly now it's about food variety and not being out of food directly. And so we're back up to 72 people in town now. All right, so we've got our tannery complete now, so we're going to go ahead and get a worker assigned to that if we can find anybody. Although we've got up to 77 now, so that shouldn't be a problem. We're building some new houses. Some folks are moving in, and they bring food with them, which helps a lot. We're waiting on this lime kiln. It's just requires a lot of limestone to get a first order of it going, and they're just not gathering it all that fast. So that's taken a little while. But you can see the food issues are finally alleviated. Nobody's complaining about food or variety. And thanks in big part to the fact that we've had a harvest, and that harvest was almost completely food related. So that's helped a lot. We also slaughtered a couple more cattle. So we've assigned 2 more bulls to be oxen, and have ordered up another plow, this time for the other farm. That'll give them a plow as well, and hopefully that helps with the quality of our farming production. What we're waiting on right now in order to be able to produce our first leather at the tannery, of course, is we're waiting on lime. And until we can get that first batch done, that's not going to happen. I don't know how much we need altogether, but it's still gathering limestone. They've already gathered 2,000 limestone, but that's apparently not enough. So we've got a messenger from Dirkachi available, and they're actually offering lime. So we're going to go ahead and buy at least a little bit so we can get that production going. I think we might go ahead and buy some more salt too, because we're probably using a lot of the salt for all the different production aspects that we have for salt. We use it for dried fish. We're going to be using it for leather. So that'll be one more thing we'll be doing here, and I don't know if that'll be enough. We're still waiting on the ability to buy some chickens. I haven't had a messenger from the right place yet for that, and I don't want to spend the money on getting one myself. Hey, there's some good news. A messenger from Marefa, and they've got live chickens. We're going to buy 10 of them, I think that should be enough to get us going. Eventually, we're going to want some horses, but we're not quite there yet. So it's going to start getting me a little low on finances too. So I want to be kind of careful of that. And there we have our first 10 chickens. Now we're going to need them to reproduce, produce some hatchlings, and then we're going to start having some additional food as well as eggs. So we're going to have to provide for a way to sell those, and I think we're probably ready for another little market stand, so a market stall. So we'll go ahead and throw one of those here in town somewhere. And we'll allow for chicken meat once we start having that. But also for, I think we have pretty much everything else here. Chicken eggs. It'll probably be good for now. Eventually we might sell some other things. So I've gone ahead and built 3 new wells, just to kind of give more places for people to get water. A few of them were complaining about access to water, and I want to make that as accessible as possible. We're up to almost 4,000 limestone. We still have not gotten enough to produce some lime, so I don't know what the total amount needs to be, but I guess we're going to continue to wait to find out. Springtime, and for the first time, we have ourselves oxen plowing a field, and it looks glorious. It's going to make a big difference in our farming this time around. We've got one over here as well. Obviously, we could probably use more yet, but that's kind of where we are right now. We've got our cattle. Looks like, how many do we have? We've only got 8 right now, and 3 of them are bulls. So we've really got to kind of get that built back up a little bit. You can see all the plowing's coming along nicely. We're into March still, end of March, and we got all of our fields plowed, or nearly so. So I think that should produce a much better harvest and should help with some of these ongoing food variety issues that we're suffering from. Most folks are living on potatoes and flour. I don't know why we're not getting enough fish to these folks, but because I feel like we're producing enough. Let's take a look. Maybe not. I guess we're going to have to get some more folks working in our fisheries to keep up with the demand. We might have to fire some folks from some other places. So we're starting to produce some hatchlings now. We've got 9 hatchlings to go along with our 10 fully grown chickens. So hopefully that eventually will very soon turn into a much larger group of fully grown chickens. We're going to set the chicken max at 20. Anything greater than that, we will start to slaughter. But in the meantime, we are producing eggs. Actually, you know what? We'll probably go ahead and let this go all the way up to 30. So we're getting our max return. But we're finally going to start selling some eggs to our people. We're going to need a lot more than what we have so far. But it looks like we've already sold 77. So that's pretty good. Anything we can do to get more food out there, that's really the main issue right now. So the next thing we're going to build is a wagon shed, and that is kind of planning ahead for having wagons so we can start using horses. I think that'll make everything more efficient, work more quickly if we can start having some horse-drawn wagons instead of having to do everything by hand cart. Now the lime kiln is working on a huge layer of charcoal. And you can see it's still got a while to go before that thing's filled. I don't know how high it's going to have to go before we get it going, but that has been like a 2-year process to get the lime kiln operational. Now on to another layer of limestone. We've already put 1,700 in it. At least we had been building up a little bit of a store of limestone while we were working on that. And I'm also going ahead and building a charcoal pile over here so that we've got access to charcoal a little closer than what we're having to do from dragging it all the way from over there. So here's our wagon shed. Now we're going to order up these wagons, but we don't have horses yet to be able to do that. So we'll allow them for both construction and delivery, but of course, nothing to be done with them until we get some horses. All right, so we're going to go ahead and queue up building a stable right here. What I think we'll do is we're going to go ahead and get through the harvest, see kind of where things stand at that point, and we'll wrap this episode up. I know it wasn't real long, but for every 1 minute that you're seeing, I'm playing about 5. So it takes me quite a while to make one of these videos at this point because there's so much kind of downtime as we're waiting for things to happen. So next episode, we should be pretty well able to build whatever we haven't already built and get everything that's currently available in the game at least featured a little bit. We've still got to do a shoemaker's workshop, a saddlery. What else do we have? I think that's pretty well it. Oh, a pigsty. We need a pigsty. But I think pretty much everything else we've got. We're working on that stable. So yeah, there's not a lot left. It's just a matter of now growth and maintaining and kind of managing all of this. I think we're going to need another set of farms. So let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below, and we will come back and probably, a little less than a week with the next episode. Thanks for watching.